Disney XD in the 2000s used famous aesthetics choices that we are finally getting to know in depth these last years, thanks to Gen Z nostalgia towards the 2000s and 2010s. One important thing to know is that in this period, Disney XD was focused on boys that were into urban culture, such as hip-hop, mainly with graffiti, breakdance, and beatbox. These are the main characteristics of Fritiger Metro, or Funky Metro, which is the same aesthetic but with more focus on the musical aspects of Fritiger Metro. Thing is, Disney XD represents a weird but peaceful period of time when music trends wasn't that homogeneous. Kids in that time were partly into rap, and the other half was into rock music. Both styles were seen as part of the radical and rebellious youth. That's why you have shows like Im in the Band, Kick Buttowski, which was heavily influenced by extreme sports and rock music, Peter Punt, which was an Argentinian show about some teenager with his punk band. They were all dressed in dark clothes, appealing to all rock music stereotypes. But this can also be useful to understand why rock was getting out of touch. Despite the fact it's been the 50s, it was becoming a parody of itself. Rock had lost all his soul by that time, and the rising of other genres like dubstep was more appealing to the youth in that time. But anyways, these corporate sociologists thought that rock music and rap could coexist, maybe because they were just trying to appeal as many kids and teenagers as possible, resulting in a weird combination of aesthetics. As I mentioned, extreme sports were for some reason part of the aesthetics choice of Disney XD. Maybe it's because the name of the channel itself means Disney Extreme Digital, but that was never confirmed. I think it's cool that in those days sports was seen as something cool for young boys, but they were focused on extremes ones, which no average kid could afford, so we were left instead with the other subculture that Disney pushed, that was skateboarding. This was insanely popular in the 2000s, at least one of your friends owned a skate, but nobody could actually make anything interesting with it. Funny, that Disney had short bumpers that were tutorials on how to use the skate. This wasn't a random idea. They knew these things were popular, and they made a whole show about it, Seek and Luther. And maybe you can have Kick Buttowski that was heavily influenced in action sports. In Asia, maybe Japan if I am not wrong, you have a bumper that shows some nerdy kid being shy, but becomes highly accepted by his peers once he starts beatboxing. That's literally the bumper. There is another one that makes more sense. There is some kid that is doing a talent presentation, he is shy, but out of the nowhere starts doing crazy breakdance movements and becomes famous. At least that was always my interpretation of this one. So far now, you can say that one of the main characteristics of Disney XD was their corporated interpretation of hip-hop, which little has anything to do with these friendly portraits. Some folks like to use the word cultural appropriation, but I wouldn't go that far. See, the thing is, culture is made by the people and for the people, and it's normal that underground things become popular. And when masses arrive, that original thing lost its soul. It's a rule of life, happens every time. That's why some cultures gatekeep, but that's something for other video. Next thing I like to point out is that some visuals were influenced by abstract techno, which seems logical, since the 2000s always had a tendency to use futuristic themes for many things. But at the end, I think Disney XD was a reflect of those times. It was a weird combination of sports and technology stuff. I remember that kids, in those days, including myself, we were mixed without activities. We could be all day playing video games, and next day we could be all day playing sports, or doing stupid stuff in the streets. The 2000s was an era where real life, community, friends and family were the most important things in our life. Technology was there to surprise us with its news and possibilities, but they were mostly used by nerds and outsiders who had found their zone of comfort, a world where they didn't have to deal with the current stereotypes of those times. Of course this ended when internet and tech became mainstream, but that's a topic for another video. I think one of the main lessons to learn here is that, despite being nostalgia, sometimes, in this case the 2000s, had values and aesthetics choices that reflect particular ideas. And those are the core foundation for good times, relationships, and a good life. So if you enjoy these times and you are deeply nostalgic about them now, think, what were the values, ideas and routines that you had in those days? Something so easy as sun exposure can change a lot your perspective on life. Hope you liked this video. Leave a comment if you want to discuss aesthetics or other social topics related in the video.